everybody, and welcome back to the United Stand Fans Forum as Manchester United rescue a point away from home with an unlikely source of Rasmus Højlund. The number 9 gets a goal towards the end, but what did we make of the performance? What did we make of Manchester United today? I am joined with Tul, Mordzs and Ricky. Well guys, it felt like the same kind of story with Manchester United in recent times. Pretty boring, tough to watch. But we actually managed to get a goal in the end. There was lots of different performers. Luke Shaw was a big one that we were discussing before the fans forum kicked off, so I'd like to get into that in the chat as soon as possible. But Tul, the first thing that comes to mind with me when I see Manchester United is we need an attack overhaul. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I've been very vocal that I feel like all the chat about us needing a striker, I've been saying to you for ages, Beth, I think we need 2. Because even if we go and get the one, he gets injured, and we're back to what we've seen this season, and we can't. If we want to compete for anything, if we want to have a crack at, let's say, top 6, and that honestly saying top 6 actually sounds quite over optimistic at the moment. Like saying we're going for top 6 next season actually might be a long shot, but we can't be playing the likes of Højlund, Garnacho consistently. We need new guys, and Cunha, I don't want to say it's over the line, but it sounds promising with Cunha. I've seen him do 2 wonderful assists yesterday, and I just thought, I really hope he can just bring that same quality to United. It really cannot be arsed seeing another player come to United and just all of a sudden they turn up and it's like, well, this isn't the player we signed, because I seen him yesterday and he was absolutely brilliant. So he'd had a lot of much needed quality. I imagine he'll play in the 10, but even up top, we need goals, man. We need goals, and we need a lot of them.
Well, I'm just looking at it here, and Bournemouth are a good side, and compared to when we've played this team in the past, like under the likes of Erik ten Hag, where our midfield's just getting ran through, our goals being peppered. Do you remember when we were at a point when we were having like the most shots conceded in the league, and we were just completely getting peppered the whole game? That's not the case right now under Ruben Amorim, and it hasn't been for quite a substantial amount of time now. We just struggle to score goals. I'm looking at the stats. United 61% possession to 39 Bournemouth. Expected goals, Bournemouth 0.67, United 2.57. Total shots, United 25, 8 for Bournemouth. Shots on target for Bournemouth, 1 goal. Wolves last week at Old Trafford, 1 shot on target, and it was a free kick, 1 goal. We're not conceding many shots and we're not being peppered. United shots on target, 6. Big chances for United, 2. Big chances for Bournemouth, 0. Big chances missed for United, 1. Big chances missed for Bournemouth, 0. And Manchester United on all the attacking stats are way ahead. But we had to rescue a point there at the end, and we were quite lucky in doing so. To me, I think a big example, just one of them I can pull out, is, do you remember the big chance that Garnacho had where Bruno put the ball over the top and he kind of, just kicks it and Kepa kind of palms it over? And I remember when Ahmad had a very similar chance against City and he takes the touch and just puts it past Ederson. And I feel like that's the difference in quality. Like, you have players like Ahmad who are ready to, compete for like probably quite a top side because he's a top player. But then you have players like Garnacho who we're relying on consistently, not just him, Højlund as well, that just aren't at the quality that we need in the front line to be able to score goals and create things consistently in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do feel like those stats don't tell the full story of the game, because I don't think there was a point in this game where I looked at it and I thought, like we're dominating Bournemouth. Like, those stats make it seem like we did. I don't think we did it at all. In fact, there was quite a few chances that Bournemouth had. For example, there was a Semenyo chance where I think Kluivert's laid it off for him and he shot, it's just gone past the post. It's off target. It doesn't count as an on-target shot, but probably one of the best opportunities of the game, probably better than any of our opportunities. And even in the second half, just as like the first maybe like 15 minutes, Bournemouth were putting on the ball a lot and they were just missing out from getting a shot. And that's opportunities that might not count in the stats, but it shows in the game that they actually putting in or getting big opportunities to put the ball in the net, and he was just a little bit off it. So I do feel like the game wasn't as like left or like one-sided as it seems. But you are right though. Our attacking players and our outlet, like that Garnacho chance. I mean, we said it literally while we were watching the game. That is Ahmad against City, where he flicks it over Ederson and then he shoots and it goes in. And that quality, it seems like we only have one or two players in the team that can actually do that, and if they're not available and if they're not in the right position, none of the other players can actually pull off and actually get a goal by creating that same kind of opportunity. So it is a bit of a difficult situation for Amorim.
I know, I'm not just pulling Garnacho out, but him and Højlund seem to play the most in our front line over the course of the season. Bruno as well, which Ricky had mentioned, but I think Bruno to me is different. I know Ricky sees that differently, and I know some people do in the chat as well, and that's fair enough. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but it's like Garnacho always finds himself in the positions. I just wish his ball striking was better. But I think overall, Ricky, I think you've talked about it quite a lot, and I thought it was an example again today. And Bruno can be included in this sometimes, is just making the right decisions on the ball, the right pass in the final third to open up that space and create the chances. Often at times, I feel like some of the United players just don't look like they've ever played with each other.
I think Bruno's decision making lets him down far too often. There was a situation in the first half that we spoke about where he's got somebody overlapping him and he's near the corner of the box and he's putting it in from a poor angle. You put the ball behind that their fullback, for us to run onto it. It's a more dangerous situation. In the second half, he had a shot from about 30 yards and it went straight at the keeper. When we had a player to his wide who he should have given it wide to, and then also in the second half when he was in like an inside left channel and he's got either Garnacho or Luke Shaw outside him, he's putting in that curly cross that's going towards the goal, and the defenders can head it back the way it's come from. It's an easier ball to defend. Not only is it an easier ball to defend, but they're heading it up the pitch. So if they head it up the pitch, they're obviously getting closer to our goal. There can be more danger to you. When you put it in from the wide, it's coming across the face of the goal, which is where our goal come from in the end. Not only is it better for your forwards, but it's more difficult to defend. And when you defend it, you probably head it back or clear it for a corner or out for a throw-in, rather than back up the field. When you're putting the ball in from a more central position, the defenders can head it back up the field. You're possibly putting yourself in danger as well as not giving yourself your best chance of scoring. And it's horrendous and it's got to stop.
Well, I do think you have a point. When I'm watching the game, I'm just thinking, keep it simple, create it, just pick the simple pass, and you have more chance of keeping the ball and a space opening up. But sometimes it's difficult when I'm not making excuses. I personally think he's playing with players around him that are just nowhere near his level, and I think that can be difficult sometimes.
I think he's the worst player in the team.
I know you do, but I think you're in the minority with that.
Can I do a quick magic trick, Beth?
Okay, cool.
I'm deadly serious.
Oh, he's got cards? No.
Brought these with me deliberately. You see where I'm going. Take me about 30 or 40 seconds, so stick with me and you'll see where I'm going. You'll see. Tully, think of a card, any card. You've got a card in your mind.
I've got a card in my mind, Rick.
Don't change it.
Okay.
Don't pander to me. Just be honest.
Okay.
I'm a brilliant magician.
Okay.
Is that your card?
It's not Rick.
Oh, don't say that.
Imagine it was.
What about that?
It's not Rick.
Oh my God. Let's try that one. What about that?
Not my card, Rick.
That's how Bruno plays football. That is how Bruno plays football. If you keep going and keep going and keep going, it'll come right. If I did that through that pack, it'll come right. Bruno tries and tries and tries and tries for assists or goals, and eventually it's got to come right. Eventually it has got to come right. So, like, when it comes right, people call him a magician or a genius. It's just got to come right in the end because he's trying it so often. It's just got to come right, and it does come right occasionally. Somebody sent me some stats during the week. He's got 9 assists in the league, and he's turned over possession. I can't remember the number, about 500 times. It's nearly always the worst in the league, isn't it? I think most people have read them stats, right? So I divided it, the amount of turnovers of possession divided into 9 assists, and it came to 63. So for every assist that he's got, he's lost possession 63 times. This is before today's game, obviously. I think it's before the Wolves game as well. But so he's losing possession 63 times per assist. There's only 52 cards in the pack. I'll get it right before him. And then shooting. Somebody sent me this stat. He's got 8 goals in the league, and I hear people saying, where would we be without his goals? 3 pens, 2 free kicks. Now, I know there's always an argument, and I get this argument, and it's a fair argument. If you can score free kicks, if you're a good penalty taker, you add a bonus to the team. I get that. But what I'm explaining here is decision making. So obviously penalties, you're going to shoot. Obviously free kicks from the edge of the box, you're going to shoot. So that's fine, no problem with that. It's your decision making on the field. When you're in general play and you're deciding to take a shot when a shot's not really on. That's what I'm talking about, decision making. So he's got 3 goals in general play. He's had 85 shots. So in general play, it's almost 1 goal for every 30 shots, right? Anthony Elanga, for comparison, has had 35 shots and scored 6 goals. So he's getting a goal for every 6 shots. Bruno's getting a goal for every 30 shots. Now, that might sound like Elanga's got a better shot. That's not the point. That's not the case. It's not necessarily the case. He might have, but it's not necessarily the case. It's the fact that Elanga's more sensible and doesn't shoot when the chance isn't really there to shoot. He's shooting far too often. I saw that flipping Statman Dave the other day on whatever he's called on Twitter saying Bruno come on against Wolves and had 4 shots more than any other player, as if it's a good thing. He's shooting too often.
Do you think he's
shooting too often?
Do you think
sorry, Beth, one sec. Actually, against Wolves, I've watched it back. 3 of his 4 shots were worth taking, to be fair, on that day. So I'm mentioning that he had 4 shots, and he's saying it's. But what I'm saying, in general, it's not a great thing to have loads of shots. It isn't.
Right.
Do you think he's trying to overcompensate because the players around him aren't very good? Because I think that is a genuine possibility, because I look at it, and if you look at the forward players he's trying to feed, no disrespect, Højlund scored today and I'm absolutely buzzing for him. I hope he scores again on Thursday and I hope he picks up form. But I question if the relegation side's starting as a striker and they're going into the Championship. Garnacho was just nowhere near at it. And then what other options have we got? Like, there's a difference when you're Bruno playing with them forwards and then what you've got at the top of the league when you've got like the Sakas, the Martinellis, the Isaks, the Haalands, the Bernardo Silvas.
Beth, the goal today, I can't remember who passed it to Shaw. I think it was.
I think it was Garnacho or Bruno.
I think it was Ugarte.
No, Ugarte had a shot.
Oh, he didn't he?
Yeah, it must have been Garnacho or.
But anyway, somebody
Bruno.
passed it to Shaw, and Shaw feeds it across the box, and we get a goal from it. And you need to. That's how City do it. It's how Liverpool do it. You've got to do it repeatedly, time and time and time and time again, and stop putting the ball in from dodgy angles, and stop shooting from stupid positions, and try and get people round the back. That's why Liverpool have scored twice as many goals as us, because they try and get people round the back. We don't try enough to get people round the back. We did it a couple of times today, 3 or 4 times, especially when Shaw went on the left and he put 2 or 3 dangerous crosses in and ended up getting a goal out of one of them. You've got to do it more.
Is that something that the manager needs to pick up on as well, though? Because obviously the manager is coaching this team and you are creating passages of play in training. I mean, you can see how meticulous Arteta is with it and the way he works with his wingers and the fullbacks and the midfielders in creating them triangles. I've watched it on the Arsenal documentary. Obviously, we've not got the luxury of watching a United documentary, but these are things that top coaches work on in training. So surely, if Bruno is playing every single game and he continues to do this, the manager must be okay with it, right?
I get it, but to an extent,
seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah,
don't get it.
But individually, as a player, I think further on to Rick's point as well. If you're talking about, as you mentioned, Beth. Is Bruno overcompensating? I think if you look at Luke Shaw today, he was by far our best outlet, and it was just everything was simple. Like just everything Luke Shaw did was every pass was 5 yards. He'd pass and he'd move. He'd bring the ball out from defence. He'd give it to a midfielder and he'd go and get out wide, and it worked. And we'd get an half chance, so we'd do it again. And he'd get an half chance and he'd do it, and he just kept doing it again. Bruno, regardless of what's going on in training, should see we're getting a lot of luck there. what I should do now is just feed the ball. Just constantly get the ball out there. If we're getting chances from it, we should just do that, like Rick's saying, over and over and over again, because it does. We said with about 10 minutes to go, when we were knocking the ball around outside the box and putting it in, I said, we'll get something if we keep doing it. It was about 80th minute, and I said, if we keep doing that, we'll come away with something. The ball will end up. Don't matter how it goes in the net. To be honest, look how it went in the net. It was a bit scrappy. I mean, Oyland didn't know what was going on when he put the ball in the back of net. But if you keep putting the ball in that position, it's gonna end up getting in there. It's like pinball, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It could hit 5 players and end up in there. If you keep getting the ball there, it's gonna happen eventually. So, if I was Bruno, I'd be thinking, all that luck we're having there, forget shooting, just keep getting it out to him over and over.
I get that, and Luke Shaw, I thought, put in some really good crosses, and we'll get on to him in a minute, because I think there's some mixed opinions on Luke Shaw. I thought he was really good, especially when he went to win back, but he's still overhit a couple, and that's exactly what Bruno does. Luke Shaw's not played in 434 days. Bruno plays twice a week, every week, so obviously there's more room for error there, and players are going to have good and bad games. Luke Shaw had an absolute shocker against Lyon. He's played well today, in my opinion. So you're basing it on a smaller sample size. Just before I read out the super chats and go on to Luke Shaw, what do you think will happen with Bruno when Cunha comes in?
Cunha's going to play as one of the 10s, isn't he? Bruno will probably play as a 6, won't he, I suppose. The manager loves him to death, I don't know why.
Do you think now when you've got a player like Cunha in who is creative, he's a good ball carrier, like we watched him yesterday play against Leicester, I mean, I've watched him quite a bit this season, to be honest. He sees great passes through the lines, he's got a fantastic shot on him, and makes really good decisions on the ball. Do you think that's going to kind of rein Bruno in a bit, because he's not forced to maybe carry the creativity of the team on his back? Yeah,
that's what I feel like we've been saying that for a while now anyway. When you've got a player like Bruno who, let's be honest, Bruno knows he's the best player. As in, like, he knows, whether or not we think it, Bruno knows on the pitch, I am the most creative player, and if anything's really going to happen, 9 times out of 10, it kind of happens through me. When he is playing with a player like Cunha, or if we go and bring in somebody else who's also just as good or even better, like you said, it does take the pressure off, but also it's just someone that you can trust. I genuinely believe that there's players out there, maybe for United, for other clubs as well, that look at the players around them and think, I don't trust you on the ball. Like, I don't trust to give you the ball every single time. I mean, look, today, you mentioned that we had like 26 shots, 8 of them were from Garnacho. I think 5 of them were blocked. Like, we talk about he's not giving the ball out wide. No, he is. It's just the players that he's giving it to. How much do you really think you trust him? How much if I'm Bruno and I've got the ball in the middle of the pitch and I'm thinking I could either go myself and try and get a shot off, or I could try and play a fancy pass and maybe get an opportunity, or I can play the simple one to my wide player, but he's probably going to lose it. Which one are you going to pick? You're going to think, well, I trust my ability more than I trust anybody else's, so I'm going to go with what I can do and try and see if I can make the best opportunity from that. Whereas if he is playing with like a Cunha, or if we go and bring in some other good players, it's like, okay, you know what, I actually trust him probably more than I trust myself sometimes. I trust him a lot because I know what he can do, and it means he's probably going to outlet it a bit more often and play the simpler pass because he knows that there's other players around him that are just as good, if not better than him on the ball.
He's got to be careful with that though, because if we, hypothetically, let's say we bring players in with quality, and they can knock the ball about and zip the ball about, but then it's still coming to Bruno and he's knocking it 50 yards up the pitch and going out wide, then those other players who can match that quality are going to be looking at it and going, what the fuck are you doing?
But they can do that though. They're allowed to do that. Because
I'm saying Bruno's got to be careful. Like, if we want players to knock it about, like you're saying, but you say Bruno's got to trust these players, then when we actually bring them in, it's not a given that he'll just trust them and keep, play that way. He might carry on playing like he is. You
got to prove yourself though. I feel like when you're like someone like Cunha, he's probably the most realistic player that's going to come in. He's so good that he can come into this team and prove himself pretty much straight away. He can do pretty much everything that Bruno can do. Or maybe, I'm not saying he's as good as Bruno or whatever, some people might say he's better, but he's got the ability to play the same passes that Bruno can play, take the same shots that Bruno can take, and score the same goals that Bruno can score. So Cunha can come in this team and say, well, I can do what you're also doing, so we can play together, pass me the ball just as much as you're going to be doing it yourself. Whereas, let's be honest, other players can't say that to Bruno right now. If Bruno takes a bad shot, he's complaining. Like, he's throwing the hands up in the air to Bruno. Bruno's going to look at you like, well, what have you done? Like, what can you say to me? He might not say that on the pitch, but in his head he's probably thinking, like, what can you really say to me? Whereas, like I said, if Cunha comes in the team, and even Ahmad's a very humble player, so he wouldn't naturally do that. But if Ahmad wanted to, Ahmad could say to Bruno, pass me the ball, I'm just as good as you. Like, why can't you give me an opportunity to do the same things that you're doing?
I agree. I think at the end of the day, you play better with better players. Like, it's as simple as that. I think Ahmad and Bruno link up really well together when they're on the pitch because they're both good players. It's like it happens a lot of the time when you have better players around you. You're already on a better level because it raises your game and you can trust the players around you more. I don't think Bruno trusts a lot of the players he's playing with, and I think that can influence you. I'm not making excuses. I don't think he was good today, and sometimes he isn't good, but we do need to boost the quality of the whole squad. I know everyone's got different interpretations, and I thought Ricky's card trick was class, to be fair. But we've got some super chats coming in. Mike says, I can see Garnett and Cunha syncing up very nicely. Paulson says, it's all about Thursday, turn up or go home. Card History says 0 to say this manager will succeed. Lewis says Ricky hates Bruno and says we need more of Jadon Sancho's. What?
I'll come back to that one. Who's just said that?
Lewis, go on.
Okay, I'll come back to that. Should we try to finish the thing?
Okay, I'll okay. Vision says, can you get me some of whatever Ricky's on? Lee Bronze James says, who do you guys pick to win the NBA championship? You better say Lakers. We're playing in a few hours. Do a watch along, support us. I'm the GOAT. Honestly, I'm not really. Are you into NBA, Mords? You are, aren't you?
Yeah, Lakers to win.
Lakers to win. D1134 says, I'm 100% with Ricky on this topic. JJ says, Beth, maybe if Bruno and the rest try to create in the box more, we'd create chances for our strikers to score from. When do we get that close to scoring? Well, Obi came on and had a chance within about 15 seconds. So I don't buy into this service stuff, to be honest with you. Ricky, do you want to go back to the super chat?
Laughing about Jadon Sancho. We sent him out on loan last year to Dortmund.
Oh no, not this.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. They got to the Champions League final. In between the two, because they're a week apart, aren't they? In between the two quarterfinals, they rested him to make sure he was fit. In between the two semi-finals, they rested him to make sure he was fit, and they played in the final. When are we going to reach a Champions League final? When are we going to play in the Champions League next? Let me finish. We've now sent him on loan to Chelsea this season. I know he's just lost his place this last 2 or 3 games. They've done better when he's come on each time, by the way. Come on against Fulham, they were 1-0 down, they won 2-1. But he's played enough minutes that he's in the first 11, not top 11 players that have played enough minutes. He's in that. And they're still in with a chance of top 4 or top 5. We need players who can reach Champions League finals. We need players who can challenge for top 4 and top 5. And he's done both in 18 months. To forget what you see. Just think about it. And I'll tell you this, if he comes back to us this year and then goes out on loan to somebody else, he'll probably go on loan to somebody else who's better than us. He probably will. Have a think about that.
Okay, on to the next topic. We have on here, sorry, I'm just bringing this up now that I wanted to get onto. So, Ipswich, who are relegated, have more away goals than Manchester United this season. This is how drastic our attack needs help. One way that our attack looked better today, in my opinion, was when Luke Shaw went to left wing back. I'm gutted, right, because Luke Shaw frustrates the life out of me. You're never going to be able to rely on him unless miracle happens. I don't really see him much as a United player because he's never fit. Ruben Amorim has said after the game that the plan was to not give him 90 minutes, but you need to win games. You feel it was an overly load in that part of the field. Luke was really good on crosses in the final third, in the decision making in the final third. When losing, push drawing, you do not think about your next game because we needed to win this one.
So the manager has just said what Sully said?
Yeah.
His decision making
yeah.
was top draw?
Yeah, he said that, and I think that's a really interesting point to take on. Because a lot of people in the chat are slating Luke Shaw, well, the manager said himself, and I thought he looked...
People in the chat slating him?
Yeah.
He was the best player.
He got a 4.5 in player rating.
Crazy.
I don't know why.
He was my man of the match by a landslide, by a big landslide.
This is what I mean. Like, I don't think he's got the capability to stay fit and play up and down.
I think that's what people have got in their mind.
I know they have, and it's gutting.
The clowns who were giving him 4.5 are not taking into account how he played. They're taking into account that they don't like him because he's injured all the time.
And that's
all it is.
It frustrates me because I can't rely on Luke Shaw. He's not the future, and it annoys me because he's when he's fit, he's still like one of our best players. He's levels above anybody else that we've got on the full back when he's fit. When he's the best crosser in our team when he's fit, and it's annoying because he's never fit and available. He's been here since 2014. He's not played a game. Sorry, he's not started in 434 games. And United, we've been into the market. We've bought Tellez, we've bought Malacia. You know, we've now got Dorgu in, and I don't want to speak on Dorgu too soon, but he can't lace Luke Shaw's boots. Like, why can we not recruit properly and get players in? Because it's obvious.
Every single one of them players, and one or two that have come through, like Brandon Williams, I've heard it with about 5 different fullbacks. Oh, this is the end of Luke Shaw. We haven't signed one yet who can lace his boots, to use the phrase you just said.
It makes it obvious the quality issue we have in our squad because he stands out.
Yeah, and I feel like none of those fullbacks who've come in have ever come in to match Luke Shaw's level. They've always been come in until Luke Shaw gets back fit. Do you know? I mean, Dorgu only came in because we not got him fit. Tellez only came in because he got that injury. I feel like none of them, we've never recruited to replace Luke Shaw. It's just always been until, you know, we need a stopgap for 6 to 12 months whilst he's been injured.
It's just annoying. It's like, how many left backs have we gone and got? And it's like, I don't want to write Dorgu off.
As well.
Dorgu's only 20 and I don't want to write him off, but he's not ready to be a starting left wing back, I think, to compete at the highest level. Like a lot of our team aren't, not just him, a lot of our team aren't. But if we're going into the market, we should be getting people who are ready now. We have Harry Armas, who looks pretty good, to be honest with you. I really like what I see. Young, you know, ready to develop and go into that role. And you also have Dorgu now, who, you know, definitely has potential, and in a few years could be really good. But it's like you've got 2 players there. It's like they're young and they need to develop to get to that level. We should have someone in now who is ready to go and he's whipping them crosses in off the left and he's just quality defensively and offensively. And it's like our recruitment just it needs to be better in certain areas, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know. I'm not as pro Luke Shaw as you guys. I'll be so real. I don't think I'm not going to say it's a bad game today. I know some people are going a bit overboard with Luke Shaw. I just think if you're looking at Luke Shaw today and you're thinking this is the standard we need to get to, then that means our standard is terrible. I'll be honest, like we should be looking past Luke Shaw now, not even on a fitness level kind of thing. I just think on a quality level, right now, if you could tell me today what was so good about Luke Shaw, other than the fact that he played it simple, what was so good that makes you think, no, this guy, we need the quality of Luke Shaw to win us a Premier League title? Because in my opinion, he didn't do anything. He just did better than what Dorgu did.
We wouldn't have scored.
I'm not trying to say that we need Luke Shaw to win a Premier League title.
We did score.
No, I mean, like in general, like we're not scoring with Luke Shaw, without Luke Shaw. Like, I don't think
Luke, you can't say that. You can't aim that at Luke Shaw. He's never played.
Luke Shaw,
Luke Shaw put
the cross in the box that went to Ugarte, that went down to Hoyland.
Yeah, deflected and then it went to Hoyland.
No, what I'm saying,
put about 20 of them in.
You've just said that we're not scoring goals whether he plays or he doesn't. He's not played, so you can't say that. He's only played 1.5 games.
Luke Shaw's been there for 10 years. At no point have I looked at it and thought, you know what, yeah, he's the reason why we're scoring goals.
No,
never at one point.
Really?
Can I just say,
Mate, I think he's been brilliant for United when he's played.
Maybe like earlier on, maybe like when like the Ollie days, maybe like that latest Ollie days, but I haven't seen Luke Shaw in a very long time and thought, you know what, he is the difference maker in this team. I haven't.
I'm not saying he's the guy that's going to take us to Premier League. I don't want him to play because he's always injured. But I'm saying it shows that United haven't progressed in the right way, that we're still relying on Luke Shaw to come back in now when he's never fit. We shouldn't need him to even be in the team because we should have a left back of quality that is fit and available consistently. We should have a left-sided centre-back that's fit and available consistently, where Luke Shaw isn't even needed because he's always injured. But every single time he gets back fit, he ends up straight back in the team.
That's because the other guys are just that bad.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Okay, we shouldn't. Fair enough. I agree with that point.
We haven't improved our team. I'm not saying Luke Shaw's the answer. He should go in the summer.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not saying he's the answer, but I'm saying the fact we still rely on him now shows our squad is not at the quality that is needed. The fact that every time he's fit, when he's never ever fit, but as soon as he's back fit, he's starting. I won't be surprised if he starts the Europa League final, and if he does,
I hope he does.
And if we
get to the final, he'll play. There's no two ways about it.
That just shows that we've not improved our squad.
He's our best.
You are right.
He's our best left back, and he's our best left-sided centre back. There's no two ways about it.
But I agree.
Doesn't that show though?
I agree with the point that he's better than what we have and what we've tried to recruit. As in, he's better than, like you said, the Tellerses and the Brandon Williams and Regulons and whoever, Malassias and all those doggies. Let me not say rubbish, but the quality that we brought in has not been. It's not been of the quality of any top 4 team like, since over the past how many years. I just look at it and I just think, if this is the best that we can do, as in like, if people are really looking at us and thinking, oh my gosh, Luke Shaw needs to be in his team, the standards have just dropped.
I've got a quick one I want to throw in here.
Go on.
So, if Shaw only gets in because the other options are so bad, does the same go for Euro finals, England?
What, 2021?
He walks. The one that's just been against Spain.
He was the second option?
I don't know, but that's a very
They didn't even take another left back. That tells you how highly they rated him.
No, he was not stacked at left back. At left back, he was the only left back that went to the
Who
tournament.
played left back in that tournament?
There was no other left back.
Trippier.
They played
Trippier played
it?
left back.
So you can.
Trippier played left back until Shaw was ready to play, and I think they knew they were going to do that. I'd have taken a left back. Well, I remember saying to Beth once, I said I'd have took Mitchell or Dan Burn, and you laughed at me. And he's in the England squad now. He's in the England squad now.
I'll be real. Luke Shaw don't get into the England squad now with Lewis Hall.
Does for me.
No, not over Lewis Hall. No way.
No, not over Lewis Hall.
No way.
What are you thinking?
Now that there's a quality, now that there's actually a good left back, good English left back that's available, I don't think Luke Shaw gets into that England team.
I don't think Luke Shaw is going to stay fit. But I will tell you now, if he's fit come the World Cup, and if he stays fit from now till the World Cup in America, he'll be England's left back. He's head and shoulders. He's a fantastic player.
He's not head and shoulders.
He's fantastic.
When
his touch and his movement and the way he gives the simple ball and gets it back and keeps the ball moving up the field, he's different gravy.
I'm not going to lie, when he's fit and when he's on form,
he's absolutely different gravy.
Brilliant.
I don't know what people are looking
He's
at.
one of the best at the club.
When he had that,
he will
when
be
he
in
had
the
that
England
year,
team if he's fit.
When he had that year under Ten Hag, when he was Roberto Carlos and every single game, he was, for me, the best left back in the world.
Also under Solskjaer, he was brilliant. Like when he's been fit, when he's gone a couple of years without injury, he's fucking mint. Like it's not even like he's not even good. He's one of our best. He's one of our best players.
But he's not going to stay fit.
I hope he might not.
That's my whole point.
He probably won't.
My whole point is that United have not learnt to live without Luke Shaw and not need him for years upon years, and that's on the recruitment. And I don't want to go in on Dorgu because he's only young and he's only just come into the club and he's come in midway through a season into an absolute mess. And I feel he's adapting to the Premier League. I feel for him. He's getting no time and no grace. When we brought Euro in, we had centre backs there. He didn't have to go straight into the team and straight away. And Euro, compared to when he first started at United to now, is night and day. I think he's improved shed loads already. Euro, where I'm comfortable with him starting games now. He looks top. When he first came in, he was a bit shaky. He's grown in confidence, he's grown in stature, he looks way better. But he could afford to come on, 20 minutes here and there, miss a game, then play a game, because we had senior centre-backs who were capable of starting games. We don't have a senior left wing-back who's capable of starting week in, week out, so Dorgu only gets here and there, and that's where we've gone wrong.
Let me ask you a question, quick question, yeah? Let's just say, for the final of the Europa League, Ahmad's available. Yeah, and let's say Ahmad plays at, I don't know.
Anywhere if he's available.
Let's just say that the wing-back positions are taken. Does Luke Shaw start for you?
Taken by who?
What do you mean?
It wouldn't be taken
by you,
It doesn't really matter, does it? He's saying if them positions are taken.
Yeah,
he's just asking you, would you pick him at centre-back?
Would Luke Shaw start for you? Everybody else is fully fit.
Yeah,
but he
will start.
I mean for you, not like he
if
will.
Everyone is fully fit and Luke Shaw is fit for the Europa League final on a one-off game, I'm throwing him at left wing back. I don't even care. I'm doing it. England final job. He's the best left wing back.
I'm saying that the two wing backs are taken.
Yeah, he's saying would you play him at left side?
Oh, would he play him left
Why
side?
would it be taken? Because he's the best left wing back we have if he's fit.
I still think it's realistic that he plays the left wing back.
Why on a one-off game that we have to win?
I'm being realistic though. Like we can say it like on FIFA and that, but like Amram's not starting him over Dorgu left wing back. I'm saying he just realistically won't. And even if Dorgu doesn't start Dorgu, he probably put Dallo or somebody else there anyway.
Why on a one-off game?
I'm just saying what Amram wouldn't. I'm saying if everyone's fit, if Dallo's fit, Dallo would start at left wing back over Luke Shaw 100%.
Yeah, but we don't know that yet because Amram is not as Shaw fit.
You think
if Luke Shaw was fit?
You think he wouldn't start Dallo over Luke Shaw left wing back?
We've not seen him. He's not had Shaw fit yet, though, has he?
Matt?
You think Amarim wouldn't start Dalot over Luke Shaw?
Dalot's
We
been
don't know.
playing.
He's not had Shaw fit.
Luke Shaw's 100%.
Dalot's only been playing there because Luke Shaw's been injured.
Mods, if you've not got anything else to play for the rest of the season, it's a final. After that, we're off. They're on holiday. They're in Marbella, whatever, and then it's pre-season.
Can I just add something
Why
to
on
this?
earth would you start Dalot at left wing back who doesn't have a left foot to
Can I
Luke
just
Shaw?
answer
Who's got the
Mod's
best left
question?
footed crosses in our
genuinely
team?
think Amarim would
Dalot will
start?
start on the. Dalot would.
You think Amarim would start Luke Shaw in the final over Dalot if they're both fit?
Yeah, but
On
Mordzs,
the left.
Dalot would start
On the left.
Dalot would start on the right.
Dalot start on the right. Yeah.
That would be his first choice to wing backs or full backs. But can I just say, to answer Maud's question,
That's crazy.
if he did decide that he wanted to play Dalot and Dorgu or whoever, then yes, Luke Shaw will play left-sided centre-back. He's better than Heaven. He's better than anybody that we've got playing as a left-sided.
I don't think he
that's
started with
so
Euro. I don't think he started with Euro.
He's
For real.
different gravy, Beth.
I don't think he started with Euro.
Of course he will. Well, Euro might play to the right, but Shaw...
Mazraoui. I don't think he started
I
with
will
Mazraoui
bet
either.
you anything you want that if we look, he's got to stay fit yet. I mean, it could easily happen that he
You
gets
might not get to
injured.
the final.
Then we're not get to the final.
Yeah, I know.
If we get to that final, Luke Shaw will play. Whichever
No
position he
way.
plays.
I think he should
can't
play
hear it.
I think he should play both legs in the
I'm not hearing
semi-final
it.
as well.
I'm not hearing it. I think both Euro and Mazraoui both start over him as centre backs. The central centre back will obviously be Maguire or De Ligt. That's obvious. I think those two right and left is definitely, if they're both available, Mazraoui and Euro.
I agree.
And the two wing backs, and like I said, if everyone's fit, Ahmad's fit. Ahmad might jump in at right wing back, and on left wing back, he's definitely starting Dalot over Luke Shaw,
No, this is-
100%.
I'm so baffled about that one. Right.
Can we make a bet?
Why?
Can we make a bet?
We've
make
sat
a bet?
here dozens and dozens of times and slated Dalot because he can't cross it with his left
Recently,
foot.
he's not been that bad. Let's
Can I
not
No,
do
but he's
just
that.
been on the right. He's been on the right. That's why he's not been bad.
Regardless. I still
Dallow's good
think-
on the right. He's not good on the left. Why would you start him on the left?
But what have you seen? You're telling me from these last two games of Luke Shaw, you've said, you know what, yeah, I'm going to start him at left wing back over Dalot.
Yeah, but he's only...
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
because
100,000,000%. I've seen him play for England in the Euros final at left wing back and was unreal.
he was mustard in that final. He was absolute
Can we have
mustard.
a bet?
Are you talking about the last Euros?
The year ago.
Can we
Not
have
even
a
a
bet?
year ago. Last summer.
Mods, can we
He
have a
was
bet?
mustard, mate. He was England's best player.
And we lost.
I'll have a
was
bet
the
with
best
you now.
Yeah, go on.
I'll have a bet with you now that if it's a big
If we get there and if he's
we
fit.
get there and if he's fit, I'll have a bet with you now that Luke Shaw will start as
Over.
left wing back, and if he doesn't start as left wing back, I think Dorgu will start. I think Dalot would be third choice at left wing back.
If Dalot's fit as well.
Yeah,
I don't think Dalot gets benched for any of them.
I think he starts right. He'll start on the right. Who's starting on the right?
I said if Ahmad's fit, if everyone's
Ahmad
fit,
will start in 10.
fair enough. If Ahmad starts in 10, that makes sense. But I don't think if Dalot's fit, he gets dropped for Luke Shaw. That's why I just feel. I don't think.
think they'll-
I'll have a
I think
different
they'll
but
both
similar
play.
bet.
I think they'll
Shaw
both
will play. Whether it's left centre back or left wing back, Shaw will play.
Yeah.
If we get there.
dropping Euro for sure. Oh,
I'm not dropping Euro.
So
I'm not
where's
dropping
Euro play?
I think his back three will be either De Ligt or Maguire,
What is that?
Euro and Mazraoui. And I think his wing backs will be Dalot right wing back and Luke Shaw left wing back if he's fit.
Also, Dorgu gets dropped for you. Then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think Dorgu's the blatantly obvious one to drop. Don't, like,
fair
if
enough.
anyone's good, I think the biggest vast
think Bruno and
difference in
Ahmad will be
quality
I think
between all of them is Dorgu and Shaw for me.
I think that
It's been a good show.
that the we've got this semi-final. First off, we've got this semi-final coming up. Let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
We're away this week. Right, we've got to get to this final. I
Need to get the super chat.
believe Shaw will play in this first leg. I really do. There might be an argument, and I could wear this. He's hardly played any football. Dorgu's an athlete. I've got no problem whatsoever if he uses Dorgu in that position. But if he does, Shaw will play left wing back. And
Your left centre back, sorry. Yeah.
left-sided centre back.
Plus Mazraoui's
Yeah.
you're most likely right wing back right now as well. Because we've got no Ahmad.
Shaw will play
got no
left-sided
Dalot.
centre back if he doesn't play left wing back, and I think he might stick with Dorgu just because he's so athletic. It's going to be a tough game. You've got to get up and down. Shaw's not played a lot of football. I think Dorgu might start, but if he does, Shaw will play left-sided centre back.
I think quickly before you do the super. I just think I think this is for the final. Yeah, if everyone's back fit, I think the same back three, the normal back three that Euro,
Maguire,
Mazraoui. I think he'll go. If Ahmad's fully fit, I think he put Ahmad right wing back, Dalot left wing back, Casemiro, Ugarte, Bruno, Mainu, and then whoever else, Højlund up top. That's what I think he would do.
I think he plays Garnacho.
I think he'd. Or maybe Garnacho.
If Ahmad's fit.
Yeah.
He's playing Ahmad right wing back.
I'll say he
I don't think he'll play Ahmad right wing.
Sounds like
He's our best right wing back. He's our best right wing back. Like, I just think.
Yes, you are right.
He is our best right wing back. He makes a difference. And
he
we actually have a couple 10s like Bruno, Mainu, Garnacho that will play there, and I think he's going to want to start all three of them. So I think all three of them will start with maybe a Casemiro or Ugarte in the midfield, and then Højlund up top.
This might be irrelevant anyway because Dalot might be out for the whole season. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Look, we'll get some super chats in and we'll move on to my next topic. Wow, everyone. Get your comments in down below. Shane Bathurst says, hi from Australia. I love this panel. Bruno is frustrating at times, but we would be relegated without him. Paulson says, I'd sell Luke Shaw for 5 million right now. Cord History says Upamecano is spot on. Luke Shaw was crap. Dennis G says Ricky is spitting facts about Sancho. You guys need to ignore all the hype. Think about what's best for the team up front, Sancho or Garnacho. Habby said, did the club buy Dorgu to cut the grass? No way he should be starting over Luke Shaw. He's always getting booked. Also, dodgy signing in my opinion. JJ says, Beth, you cannot buy it, but we need to create it in the box. Obi's chance came from a good cross. We get closer when we work the ball, not the silly shots. Clayton Daniel says, sell Shaw, get a better replacement. He's never available, prefers playing for England over us, gets him out. Cord History says, loaning out Malacia for Dorgu to come in was nuts. Luke Robson says, don't need to lace his boots because he never wears them. Shaw gave the ball away a lot and put teammates in bad positions. The big group gave him 4.5. Pengers92 says, still early days for Dorgu, but why didn't we get Kirkes 12 months ago? Premier League experience trumps all. I agree, Kirkes is just... I'm gutted we didn't get Kirkes, and he was the guy that we originally scouted over a year ago. Arif says, Ricky talking crazy amounts of sense. Shenanigan says, Bruno ranks 24th for shots per 90. Garnacho 9th, Cunha 4th. De Bruyne, Eze, Palmer, Foden, Saka are some mids who take more shots than Bruno.
They take more shots?
Mm-hmm. That's what the super chat says. I'd have to fact check it, obviously. And Lewis Albrin says, Ricky, maybe you need some new glasses. Honestly, guys, it's all about opinion, and I love it when it makes an entertaining show when everyone's got a difference of opinion. But we'll come back to this if we get to the Europa League final, and that's what I want to round up the last 20 minutes of the show on. So get your comments in. Going into Bilbao on Thursday, biggest game of the season so far. This, arguably, with who's fit right now, obviously we've got Ahmad and De Ligt to come back, but I don't think they'll be ready for Thursday, was probably one of our strongest teams, bar maybe one or two if you're down to preference. Does that worry you, that performance today is from the best United team we've currently got available?
Big time. I was going to say, by the way, and this is partly to do with what you're just talking about. When you were talking about us piling the pressure on and Luke Shaw playing well at left wing back, it also coincided when he went there roughly with them getting a man sent off. So it was a bit easier, and there wasn't as much tracking back to do. You know
that's
what I mean?
True. That's true.
So that won't be the same in Bilbao, or however you say it, Bilbao.
Bill, I think people. I hope I'm wrong. I think we're in for a bit of a shock. Everyone we've played in the Europa League so far. I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're not good. They're not like, they wouldn't be like in my like top 6 in the Prem. They wouldn't be. Bilbao might not be, to be honest, either.
Not one of them would be.
No, and that's me being nice, to be honest. They've not been of ridiculously high quality. The best team we've probably played has been Lyon, and even there, 6th or 7th in Liga?
Lyon might be the only team we've played that had even survived in the Premier League.
Exactly. So the reason why United are a lot better in the Europa League is because the Europa League, I don't like saying it because I hope we win it and I'm desperate for us to win it, but the quality is nowhere near the quality of the Premier League, hence why we're absolutely diabolical in the Premier League and we're good in the Europa League.
It's like playing in the Johnston's Paint Trophy.
Exactly. So Bilbao Athletic Club are a good team. They have got a couple injuries, but if you look at where they are in La Liga, I do think we're in for a pretty tough game, and I think it is going to be a little bit of a shock. They are 4th in La Liga, and they've conceded the least amount of goals in La Liga as well. Bear in mind, we don't score. So, apart from when we played Lyon at Old Trafford, I think we scored, what did you score, 5 that day?
7 altogether.
7 altogether, over 2 legs. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. They are going to be, on paper, tougher than Lyon, who have been our toughest opponents so far. in the Europa League. So, what team do you put out? Bear in mind, I'm looking, this is just the way I'm looking at it, I don't know about you guys. I'm looking, if we can go to Statistical, if we can go to Bilbao, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to go there and win, but if we can keep it a draw and then take it back to Old Trafford, I'd be pretty happy with that. I don't know about you guys.
I'd be happy with that, and because of that, I think both Casemiro and Ugarte should start, which seems to be happening quite a lot before, didn't it? But he's just changed it today.
Yeah.
Did they both start against Wolves, by the way?
No, only Ugarte. I think I think he's rested
Giving them
him
half
a
a
little
game
bit.
each,
Yeah.
or roughly.
I think that's his preferred two, isn't it?
I think
and
so.
he's keeping them on ice for the. He's keeping them wrapped up for the Europa League games. I think it's probably
They'll probably both play.
Probably the most stable two we can go with, isn't it? To be honest.
I think so.
Yeah. And to be fair, looking at our games in the Europa League and looking at the teams, I get it. Like the quality is not great, but we could lose to every team in the Premier League. They don't have to be a top 6 team to be able to beat us. Does that make sense? We could lose to Ipswich. We could lose to Southampton, we could lose to Wolves, we could lose to anyone. So for them, the fact that we've even been able to go and beat it in the Europa League is already mad, in my opinion. Like, I think that's already a crazy achievement that we've still not lost. But you look at the individual games, struggled against Rangers, struggled against Fenerbahce, struggled against a bunch of other teams. Porto, we drew against them, struggled against Lyon. So I think in general, most games have been hard for us, but we still managed to get a result out of every single one of them, to be fair. So I still think we can get a result out of Bilbao, even though the odds are definitely not in our favour. I think we can still get a result. I think it kind of just comes down to, obviously, who really wants it more. And for a team like Bilbao, I was speaking to one of my friends about this, for those kind of clubs, one, they're never going to win the league, so they don't think about La Liga when they're in cup competitions, because they're not going to compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona or Atletico Madrid to ever win their league, ever. Like, it's just not a dream for them. So the reality is, I mean, Barcelona just won the Copa del Rey the other day. Them and Real Madrid are always in the final for that kind of competition. So for a team like Bilbao, the Europa League is there. Like, if we win this is our best achievement for like 50 years. You know what I mean? Like, this is everything to those kind of clubs. So same like
finals in Bilbao as well.
And the finals in Bilbao, so probably their best achievement in like 100 years. So it's gonna the United and or Amorim or whoever's the one who's communicating to the players, as to try and really get into their minds that, look, we're going to be in for a physical and dominant game, because they're not going to come over here thinking, let's just try and see what happens, like we're going to be doing. Now they're coming there thinking, we want to absolutely destroy these guys and send them home with a message. So we have to go out there with some kind of different kind of mentality. The tactics, they might work, they might not work, but it's about mentality for when we go against Bilbao. It's about how much we can really pressurize them and make them actually worried to come back to Old Trafford. And I think that kind of comes down to Amorim and the leaders in the team, Bruno, whoever else are the leaders in the team.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely dead on there. I think we're in for a tough game. And by the way, there's a couple of people in the chat. I'm not saying all the teams in the Europa League are garbage. Because, I'm not saying United are like amazing. I'm just saying the Premier League is better. It's a better quality of competition than what the Europa League is, which is why we have been, in my opinion, more successful in the Europa League. But obviously, you're entitled to your own opinion. I think it says a lot that both Spurs and United, who are 15th and 16th
like
in
that,
the.
yeah.
I think we've gone up to 14th today, to be fair.
Have we?
In the Premier League, or in the semi-finals of this competition. Or in this competition. So that's it. And I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, Athletic Club are going to be a really big test for us. Like they are a good team that have a good defensive shape about them.
Yeah, Spanish teams as well just scare me. Well, United and Spanish teams. I know we beat Sociedad over was it Sociedad we played the 16? Yeah. No, we managed to get a point away, which was a good result, and then we did them at home. But yeah, every time United come up against Spanish team, it just I don't know. It always seems to be a Spanish team, doesn't it? When
Spanish teams win.
Sociedad are 10th though, and Athletic Club are 4th.
It's a big difference.
Spanish teams usually win these competitions. Let's be honest. Like Sevilla win it all the time.
Oh, Sevilla don't even remind me.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
But they always do. They always do win it. It's actually rare that like English teams do win European competition. That's why not a lot of them have, but it's usually like a Real Madrid, Barcelona, Sevilla, one of those kind of teams that take these kind of cups. So.
Don't want to remind you of Villarreal.
Yeah, Villarreal, Sevilla have done us. Barca have done us plenty of times over the years. Real have done us over the years. The Atletico Cup not too long ago, 2-3 years ago, which is Spanish teams and United. I was saying this when we came up against Sociedad. I was just nervous just because it's a Spanish team. It's just
On that note, let's go through who our starting 11 would be for Thursday. So it's going to be an Anna in goal.
Yeah.
Back three, what are you going for, Ricky? I'll start off with you. You can pick the back three.
I would probably go with Euro, Maguire and Shaw.
Euro, Maguire and Shaw. Yeah.
Which is what it was today, isn't it?
Wing backs.
Who's even available?
Probably Mazraoui and Dorgy.
Yeah, the same as today.
Because I don't think Ahmad's going to be back for the first leg. I think he'll probably play some minutes on the gate on the gate Premier League game at the weekend, and then might be available to start or at least get some minutes in the semi-final back at Old Trafford, hopefully. Your two midfielders, are we going with Casemiro and Ugarte?
Yeah, those are the two guaranteed ones, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the
And
definite
then
two.
10s, do you reckon it'll be Garnacho and Bruno?
I think Garnacho starts. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I think just because he's an outlet in terms of carrying the ball up the pitch. You know, his end product and quality on the ball is absolute garbage. But I've seen a lot in Europe, especially against Lyon. He was always on the halfway line and we broke on them so many times. And on the other hand, it was Garnacho. We could have scored so many goals against Lyon in that first leg, and Garnacho ballsed up so many counter-attacks. He did it against City as well in the league fixture a few days before or after it. But I just think because he's there, because he can carry us up the pitch and he can be that guy just to sit on the halfway line when we're up against it and we can loft the ball up. I think Garnacho starts every game just for that. So I think it'd be Garnacho and Bruno.
I wouldn't, but I think it will be.
I think
it will be, but I think Mainu should start over.
Yeah, I think Mainu.
I think in every way he's a better player, even dribbling. Yeah. I think he can dribble past players a lot better, press resistant. We talk about the simple pass and then the best pass rather than the obvious pass.
We've got to get Mainu in.
Mainu makes the best pass every time.
Forgot about that. How does Mainu fit?
Mainu has to play.
Even in terms of like just scoring goals, like let's be honest, I said it before, the goal against Lyon. Genuinely, Tom, right now, how many players on our team can score that goal?
Yeah, zero.
Even if it was like in the 50th minute of the game.
Probably Ahmad.
I think
probably
Bruno.
Ahmad. Obviously, Ahmad, he's not available though.
I think Bruno's capable.
Bruno,
I don't know. Would he put his foot on the ball like?
Bruno might shoot straight away, just try and volley it. But the reality is, it's not a lot. And Maine is one of those players, one of the few players that can actually score that goal. So if we are going to be desperate to get some goals, let's put a player in the team that can actually score a goal.
So you'd go Bruno and Mainu.
Yeah, bring on Garnacho 70th minute, let him run around.
Well, obviously he's going to play Bruno, but I'd go Mainu and Eriksen. If you're asking me what I'd do.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that, is he?
No. No, he's not. And we are going for Højlund up front?
Yeah.
Great so.
I'd be tempted to put Mainu up top, me.
I'd be tempted to put Bruno up top. I'd have Mainu and Garnacho as my tens.
You can't bench Højlund after he just finally scored today.
No, you can't.
Bless him.
You can't.
You can,
The goal didn't do anything for me.
Do you know what though? I said to you, remember that second leg against Lyon, I was saying I wouldn't play Højlund and play Bruno up top. But then when Højlund played, he wasn't actually that bad against Lyon in that second leg. He was a tiny bit better. He was a 5 out of 10 instead of a 2 out of 10.
I think maybe start Højlund to do the dirty work of the pressing, and he has got good energy and he does get around the pitch. I know it's so basic, but he will do the legwork for you, and we need to make sure we keep a good shape and have our wits about us against Bilbao. The last thing you want to be doing is conceding early doors, or even if you concede one, it's not the end of the world, but more than that, this team's in trouble because you know what we're like. So
if we go one down, do you go Harry Maguire up top? That's 2 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think you've got another leg to play at Old Trafford.
Oh yeah, not in the first leg. Yeah.
I've got everything.
If we were 3-0 down, then maybe, maybe it's worth. Maybe it's like, well, yeah. The difference between being 2 goals behind and 3 goals behind going into the second leg is a big difference. That. But yeah, I'd get Maguire up top at any opportunity.
Bruno up top is interesting though. Like, he's played there in some big games for us before, and he's capable. He did it in the FA Cup against.
He'll provide the similar energy as well that you're going to get from Højlund. I mean, you probably make the same argument towards Bruno and Højlund, where a lot of running and a lot of energy, but is it used in the best way? You could probably make the same argument for both of them.
I'll be real though. Like, what's the difference between Bruno and Højlund up top?
Bruno will probably get more goals. Probably get more assists.
Højlund's faster, isn't he? And a bit stronger.
Is he stronger?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely stronger.
You think Højlund's stronger than Bruno?
Oh, no, I don't. He's going to be a more physical challenge for the centre backs.
Really?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I don't know about that. I've not seen him use his strength in a way.
I think Bruno gets in behind quite well sometimes and collects the ball nicely when he gets mixed.
Oh, he does make some decent runs. I'm
Yeah.
talking about with his back to the defenders. I think Hoyland's more.
But Hoyland, I don't want to be disrespectful. Hoyland doesn't have the IQ to do what Bruno does in terms of going between the lines and bringing the ball down and bringing people into play.
I think if Bruno, I think what you've got to remember, if Bruno starts up top, if the lineup comes out and it says Bruno's up top, let's be honest, he's not going to be up top. He's going to be over here. He's going to be over here. He's going to be. We all know what Bruno is. He's not going to be up top playing. He
ruins everything.
Yeah.
I think Aaron will go with Hoyland though. And especially off the back of the fact he scored today, which hopefully it gives him a bit of confidence. I mean, clutching at straws, but we need that. Do you know what I'm gutted about? I'm gutted that Cheeto isn't at least registered for the Europa League. Not saying I start him or anything like that, but to have him off the bench for like 10 minutes would be nice. It'd be a nice option.
I'm absolutely.
How did you make of him today?
Oh, Cheeto today. To be fair, there was two things I noticed with Cheeto in about the first 10 minutes from being on. First 15 seconds he got that chance, which was good news. You know, straight away, literally, it must have only been 15 seconds he was on the pitch, and he had his shot. I don't think it counted as on target because the defender got a leg out to it, but it was going on. It was towards the goal. If the defender weren't there, it was going to hit the goalkeeper. He would have had to force the keeper into a save. That's good news because, I mean, it looked simple what he did. I mean, he just got himself in the box and got himself in a bit of space, but with Hoyland up top, we don't really, we don't get that often. So even just getting it, even if we get a couple of them a game from Cheeto, it's a start. And another instance was Luke Shaw, actually. This is when Luke Shaw was still playing centre-back, I think, and he played a lovely ball in. And Cheeto used his body really, really well. I mean, he looked like an experienced player the way he did it. He moved across the defender, got his shoulder in front of him, managed to give himself an half chance, and the keeper tipped it over the bar. So hopefully, just keep giving him these minutes, keep dripping and drabbing these 15, 20-minute cameos, let him build his confidence up. He's obviously got something there. He knows how to... I think that's the difference I've seen. I think that's the difference I've seen between him and Hoyland. Cheeto's, he seems to really run off the back of a defender more than Hoyland. Hoyland's runs seem a bit more sporadic and random, whereas Cheeto, I've seen him a few times hug a defender and then he'll move off the back of him, which really that's what a striker should be doing. So I've got my fingers crossed for Cheeto. I've not seen enough yet where I'm going to say he could start for United next season. I've not seen anywhere near enough to say that, but fingers crossed, a couple more seasons, we've given him time off the bench, then hopefully he can be an alright little player.
Emily Derry says, Sancho doesn't want to be at United, nowhere I'd ever want him back. And Lewis says, we smoked Real Sociedad. Thank you everyone for your super chats that have come in. Man of the match, guys.
Luke Shaw.
It's so difficult.
Don't tell me anybody played better than he did. Don't tell me anybody played better than he did. We were terrible going forward. The two centre-backs played as well as he did as centre-backs, but they didn't play better than him when he started going forward. And neither did Dorgu nor Mazraoui.
Who was the man of the match on the player ratings? I generally would struggle to pick one, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't have struggled. I thought it was quite obviously Shaw. But
I think I'd go with Shaw based off what I saw in the second half.
I thought he was the only outlet all game. I thought he was the only attacking output.
him and Dorgu had a bit of a disaster together for that to concede the Semenyo goal, which probably knocked him down a few points.
You talk about Bruno not trusting his teammates. Luke Shaw, I spotted that when it happened. Luke Shaw passed it to Dorgu, and when he passed it to him, Luke Shaw is trusting him. You know, it's in it. If you want to just turn on that and play it up the field with your right foot, a good player, it's dead easy to do. But Dorgu took a touch and lost it. Luke Shaw expects the players to be able to play like he plays. That's what he expects, and he gives that ball to Dorgu, and it's not good enough.
Oh, for the goal for that.
Yeah.
But maybe that was a bad
Luke
pass.
Shaw's expecting the players to be able to play like he can play.
Maybe that was a poor pass.
It was straight to his feet.
But was it in a bad position? Or?
Oh, yeah, there was a player coming at him, but this is what I'm saying. When you're a top player and you're playing with other top players, and you need to be able to trust your teammate, because it was about when Shaw gave it him, that player was coming forward, the opponent, but he was still 4 or 5 yards away. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to trust your teammates that you can give him a ball in that situation.
But at the same time, if I'm Dorgu, I get what you're saying though. If I'm Dorgu, I'm thinking, you can clearly see that Bournemouth were literally about one pass away from pressing.
They are rushing forward.
It was very much like a trigger press, innit? They knew as soon as that ball got to Luke Shaw, we're going to press straight away. And Luke Shaw kind of passed it away before he could get pressed first, and then Dorgy got pressed second, and then like, he was the one who lost the ball. Not trying to take the blame away from Dorgy, but if I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, you kind of put
Lofted
me
up the pitch.
You put me in a bad
basically,
position, because all I can do is either kick it out and lose the ball, or get tackled. So it's kind of like, it's poor on both of them, in my opinion.
Who are you going with man of the match?
Oh, try to avoid this. Go with Lisha.
Go with Shaw. I think the chat gave it to Majraoui, but yeah. Anyway, that is no one really stood out, to be honest with you. Last but not least, quick prediction. What do you think the result will be on Thursday, Tul?
0-0.
No, there's got to be a goal in there. Oh, me? Oh, I obviously want to win, but a draw will be very good. I think 1-1, a 1-1 draw, 2-2 draw. I think that'll be good.
I'd back your hand off for a draw, but I'll say it'll be 1-0 for them.
Oh, Ricky.
Sick.
I was gonna go with 1-1 again, but I'm gonna go 2-1 United. Sack it.
Why not?
Sack it. Harry Maguire, I do. Let's go. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Hit a like on the video if you have not already. The current scores, if you're thinking of going looking, is City are currently leading Forest at half-time 1-0. So still plenty to play for there, and Liverpool are beating Spurs 3-1 at half-time in that game. So don't even want to say what that means. Anyway, we are off. Thank you for watching. Roll on Athletic Club on Thursday. Cannot wait for that. Honestly, we better play well. Thank you for watching, everyone. We will see you on the next one.